Hey everyone, Prison Meddler here, and yes, I know it's been a while since I done a video, but anyways, I think we're on number, which episode of the ranking am I at now? Let me look. 21, I think, or 20. Oh, 20. Yep, this is going to be my 20th episode on my album ranking. So, today I'm doing an album rank for Sepultura, and just so y'all know, this is only going to be the Max Cavalera era. So that means I'm only ranking their first 6 albums from Morbid Visions to Roots. So, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, now let me look at my list here. So starting with my least favorite at number 6. Hold on, let me get that list up. Hurry the fuck up. Sorry guys, it's taking a while. Okay, there it is. Alright, starting with my least favorite, number 6 is going to be their debut album, Morbid Visions. Now, this is actually a really great album. I think this is their first album with black metal stuff into it, but, and the reason why I had to rank this, I mean, it's still a great album, but I had to put this the reason why I had to put this as my least favorite is mainly because of the production. I just don't really, and then they had to use, like, let's see here, yeah, and production isn't really that great, but even though it's their debut album, and yeah, and I don't really remember a lot of the songs on there, except for maybe Troops of Doom and Morbid Visions, and that's pretty much it. That sounded a bit more like, that's pretty much it. Plus, the album's a bit too short, in my personal opinion, but it's not a bad album. I'm gonna have to rate this one a 6 out of 10. For this album. Okay, next up at number 5 is gonna be Roots. Yes, I know that this may be a bit controversial, or that list should be a bit higher, but yes, this is definitely a 90s metal classic, but I just had to put this as my second least favorite because I just think their other materials are better. But I do think it's a fantastic album, a lot of great songs, and it's very instrumental. Plus, it has more of a new metal sound into it, even though they completely abandoned their thrash sound. And I think that this is their final album with Cavalera on there until it was replaced by Derek Green. Excuse me. I feel like, well, I'll talk about the Derek Green era later. Excuse me, guys, hiccups. Excuse me for the pauses. Okay, I think it's gone. Anyway, favorite songs from there would be Roots, Bloody Roots, Attitude, Cutthroat, Breed Apart, Straight Hate, Look Away, which features Jonathan Davis from Korn, Mike Patton from Faith No More, and DJ Lethal from Limp Bizkit, Dusted, Ambush, and Endangered Species. I do thought this was a really great album, but I just had to put this as my second least favorite. Um, but then again, definitely a 90s classic though. Alright, as y'all may know, the trigger warning. Yes, I had to put Beneath the Remains as my fourth favorite. I just don't think this album is as, like, fantastic or perfect as I thought it was gonna be. But this is still a great album. Don't get me wrong, guys. I just don't think it's, like, I just don't really think it's, like, one of my favorite thrash metal albums. Don't get me wrong, it's great, but I do enjoy the guitar work and all that, but there's really nothing much to say. I know I must piss a lot of you off, but it's just my opinion though. Okay, favorite songs in there would be the title track, Inner Self, Stronger Than Hate, Sarcastic Existence, Slaves of Pain, and Primitive Future. Like I said, I just don't think this album should be at the top of my category. Yes, this album is not bad at all. It's a fantastic album, don't get me wrong. So yeah, this has to be at the fourth place. Okay, number 3, we got Schizophrenia. This is their second album, and I love this album a lot. This is probably their most underrated album at the Cavalera era. I love every single song from this album. From the Past Comes to the Storms is definitely one of my favorite Sepultura songs. Same with the instrumental track. Inquisition Symphony. I don't know if I said the first word right, but yeah, I thought this album is just perfect from start to finish. So, even though the production isn't that as good, as their later albums, but I just had to put this at number 3 because I just really enjoy the songwriting for this album. So this has to be at the third spot. Alright, number 2, we got Chaos AD. So yeah, this album, well, they still keep their thrash sound, but they abandoned their death metal sound and it became more like groove metal, like Pantera or stuff, or Machine Head or something like that. But I thought this is a groove metal masterpiece, and yeah, it has more of a simplistic sound, but I just really enjoy this album, again, from start to finish. Just a lot of groovy ass tracks like Reviews Resist, Territory, Slave New World. Pretty much every single song from there is just perfect. I just love this album. Definitely one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorite 90s metal albums. For sure, hands down. Okay, so as all may know, my favorite Sepultura album at number 1 is going to be Arise. This is one of my favorite thrash metal or death metal albums. This is the reason why this is my favorite. It's actually my favorite Max Cavalera album ever. The reason why this is my favorite, because it had more like experimental, with all mixed with death metal, thrash metal. It has more of like a hardcore punk sound. Just not only it has more like thrash metal and death metal, it has more like tribal stuff, like percussion or some industrial. I just love everything about this album. Every song is just pretty much perfect. Even the bonus track, CIU, is just perfect. Excuse me. But yeah, I love this album. Probably my favorite album in '91. So yeah, I know this album is a bit short, but it's only 6 albums at the Cavalera era. So what is your rankings on Sepultura? Oh, speaking of the Derek Green, I don't consider Sepultura Derek Green era. I feel like Sepultura continues on whenever Max Cavalera started Soulfly. I feel like this is Sepultura. I feel like after Roots becomes Soulfly's debut album. Don't get me wrong, I do think Derek Green's a great vocalist, and I do like their newer stuff, but I mainly prefer Soulfly over the new Sepultura. It just doesn't really sound like Sepultura in my personal opinion, but it's still good. That's all I have to say for this album rank, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out, everyone.